Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys losing to the 49ers again, 30 to 24 on Sunday Night Football, in a game in which Dak Prescott played terrible in today's game. I don't care about the last fourth quarter. That's what we typically do anyway. We have a typical, we're down. They're not. The defense isn't as aggressive as it was in the first three quarters, so they're letting you back off. They let you get the underneath. They'll let you score a touchdown, but the game was still winnable, right? And when the game was winnable, you were horrible on first down. Dak Prescott almost threw a game-sealing interception. Second down, terrible again. Third down, he throws an amazing pass to Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin can't reel it in. And then fourth down, we have a terrible play call again, and we're throwing to Jalen Brooks in double coverage. And that was ball game, but really Dak Prescott is really the person who lost you this game, and he hasn't been the reason why. You know, he hasn't been the difference maker that we needed him to be. So I'm gonna talk about all that and more after the video. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Guys, but the conversation has already been started, and it's already had been a thing the entire year. And really, it's like, for me, with Dak Prescott, man, not only does he need to play better and he needs to make better decision making, but it's always these games in which we need him to play better. I don't know what it is psychologically against his team, against the red and gold. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened to him after these playoff games where, they sent him home twice in a playoff game, and then you get, you know, beat down last year on a Monday night, not Monday night, but a Sunday night football game last year. You played terrible in that game. Dak Prescott hasn't been the difference maker. He hasn't been the reason why we won any of these games or the reason why we lose any of these games, except for today. And the last two times we played Niners, he has been the reason why we lost. But even in that playoff game when he had two interceptions, that was terrible as well. So, I mean, Dak Prescott has to play better, and you have him for 4 years, $240 million contract. He's the highest paid quarterback in the league, and there's nothing that we can really do to move on from him. And I think we're in that same predicament like the Pittsburgh Steelers are, except the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have way more success than you had, definitely in the 2000s, since you have, right? But Pittsburgh Steelers and Dallas Cowboys are similar in a way where they're never going to be too terrible to pick top four, top five in the draft, and they're never going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl because of quarterback play and because of their offensive play calling. Dak Prescott hasn't been good enough, and he hasn't been good enough for this franchise for us to turn it around and for us to win the Super Bowl. I think that he can win a Super Bowl, but I said that before, and I said that already in my January video. Um, about Dak Prescott. If you guys want to talk about how I feel about Dak Prescott, check out that video after the playoff game. I know that's tough for you guys to watch. It's tough for me to rewatch it because I rewatched it like sometime in October. But anyway, he hasn't been playing well. He hasn't been playing well at all this season. I mean, he played. I guess you can say the best game he's played was against the Browns. But look at the Browns. Outside of today with Jameis Winston, what they were with Deshaun Watson, they were not a good football team, right? So I mean, and then he played the only time he played good against the Steelers game was that last drive, and that was it. But he didn't play well in Detroit. He didn't give you a chance to win in Detroit. He gave you a chance to win in New Orleans, but that was mainly because of the defense. He didn't give you a chance to win in the Baltimore Ravens game. So I mean, again, I'm not fully blaming it on him. Let's not get it twisted. But he's not the. But he has to be the reason why we win games, and he has to be. He has to elevate all past the BS for us to have chances in these games. And 9 times out of 10, he's showing you that he can't. So really, and that just has to go with play calling. Our play calling has to be a lot better. We have to be able to run the ball more efficiently. I feel like if we're able to run the ball and take the pressure off of Dak Prescott, I think we'll be a lot better. I think if we had found another wide receiver too that was more explosive outside of CeeDee Lamb, I think we would have had more success. I think if we had another tight end that can back up Jake Ferguson, I think we'll be fine. I think if we had a dynamic running back, along with a dynamic running game, and then even because I think with the offensive line that we have, I think we can make plays with, but it's tough to make plays when your scheme isn't good and you don't have a great decision making by your quarterback, and you don't have a dynamic running back. I think things acclimate with each other offensively, and I think we have this big cluster F on offense, and I just don't think that with this coaching staff we're going to be able to get it done. I think you already know how the year is going to end. I think that we might be competitive. We might finish the year 8-9 or 9-8, or we might finish the year 7-10. I don't feel confident in this football team because if you look at your next games that I have on the schedule right here, or I posted right here, you got, other than tonight, you got the Atlanta Falcons. After Atlanta, you have the Philadelphia Eagles. Then after Philly, you got Houston. Then after Houston, you got Washington. Then after Washington, you got the Giants. Those are your next 5 games. And, in terms of the division race, I think you're out of it. I think you fully played your way out of it because I don't think you own any, not think, I know you don't own any conference wins. You only have one conference win, and that was against the New York Giants. Pathetic. And then every single time you went up against some decent opponents, like the Niners and Lions, Lions got completely demolished. Niners, you lost in a close game, but the game was basically a blow anyway because of the way you played in the third quarter due to Dak Prescott, and then you were not able to run the ball. I mean, not able to stop the run in the third quarter, and then you lost to the Saints, you lost to the Lions, and you lost to the Niners. So now you have not three division, but 3 conference L's, and you still have a bunch of NFC games you still have to play. So Dak Prescott hasn't been playing good, but nobody else on the offense has been stepping up. This is CeeDee Lamb's best game all year. And then again, it was his best game all year, and it didn't lead to anything as well. Him pouting. He's pouting. Everyone else is pouting on the offense, but, I'm not going to get too upset because I already knew what the season was going to be. Once I saw what this front office did in March, and they didn't want to resign anybody, or they didn't want to sign anybody to fix any of our problems last year, I knew we weren't going to do that. Once I saw how we drafted in the draft in April, and we drafted an offensive tackle who only played 14 games at the position of offensive line, I knew what we were doing, and they were going to force him to play from right tackle to left tackle. And then I saw that we had a guard that played guard throughout his entirety of college, plays center. He's been playing solid. The only negative against his game is in the pass game department for a little bit, and then also picking up stunts. So he has to pick up on that part. And then, you picked up a linebacker in the 3rd round, and I think that was a little bit of a reach. I really love Maris Louisville, but I feel like that should have been your Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, Isaac Guerrero type of pick. But you made your bed, you got to lie in it. So I think what you're going to probably do, fire all your coaches, you're going to restart over, but I don't know how many offensive coordinators are we going to go through and head coaches are we going to go through to know that Dak Prescott just can't get it done wearing these colors. I don't know what's going to take for this organization. They signed him because they knew that if they didn't sign Dak Prescott and they go into next year with the roster looking bleak as it is right now, I don't see any coaching staff that want to come in and pick this up. I know we're going to do a retread. We're going to try to bring in Bill Belichick. I don't want Bill Belichick, and the reason why I don't want Bill Belichick is because look at what New England was once Tom Brady left. They didn't build that thing from the ground up. They didn't try to get them a competitive team. They had one competitive year. They went into the playoffs, first round of the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills, and got completely ran off the football field. And they weren't great in New England after Tom Brady left. Tom Brady went and won a Super Bowl, and that was all Tom Brady's point, was to show that he was the reason why they were winning Super Bowls in New England. So, and another reason why I don't want Bill Belichick is because he's going to bring Josh McDaniels on the offensive side of the football. He's outdated. You're going to bring Matt Patricia. He wasn't good for the Philadelphia Eagles, and when they switched out defense coordinators last year, your defense isn't going to be any better than what it is right now. So I just think that you're in a very lose-lose situation. And that's pretty much it from the offensive side, and from from that standpoint. Defensively, I think they did their job today. I know they did allow 30 points, but it's tough. It is very tough when you're very boneheaded and you're letting Donovan Wilson play in coverage against George Kittle. What didn't George Kittle teach you last year? If you put me on coverage on any of your trash safeties who can't cover general, but don't even have the foot speed to keep up with me, I'm going to torch you. And that's exactly what George Kittle did today. George Kittle didn't score 3 touchdowns like how he did last year. He had significant plays. He made same thing what they always do in the 49ers. Crossers, corner routes, having it one-on-one coverage with your safety and Donovan Wilson who can't cover. Shout out to Vash Lombardi, Skywalker, Steele, Koye, Media, Foots, all the guys that knew Mike Zimmer's scheme and said that, look, Zimmer needs 2 safeties that can cover. and they said Donovan Wilson's going to struggle, and maybe we should look at Marquise Bell to start. Is Marquise Bell going to get more playing time? No, he wasn't. You know why he wasn't? Because this organization cares about money and who they're paying instead of the better player. And that was again shown today. 30 minutes. We found out in the fourth quarter of the Washington Commanders game versus the Chicago Bears, a really great finish, a really great game. But we found out 30 minutes before kickoff that Rico Dotto wasn't going to play because we activated Dalvin Cook on Saturday. It was talked all week that we were going to activate Dalvin Cook. Anyway, game time, fast forward to game time, they're saying Rico Dowdle was dancing, Rico Dowdle was upbeat, Rico Dowdle no cough, no sneezing, none of that, wasn't sniffling, was singing and rapping along with his rap lyrics or what he was listening to on his headphones, and then come to find out again 30 minutes before kickoff that he's not playing because we didn't want to inactivate Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott had a decent game today. He scored a touchdown, but I'm not blaming anything on Zeke. I feel like 2024, who's better, Zeke or Rico? Rico had a better game. Rico had the game of his life against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That should have been enough right there to let you know that who's your best running back. But again, we play politics. And since we're involving, and not involving, but since we have politics on this football team, and we're always going to let the money talk more than the actual play on the football field, we're going to get the results that we always get. We're never a football team that's going to be serious, and that was shown today before kickoff, and it just shows the epitome of your franchise and that you're not serious about winning. So again, you're having Donovan Wilson in coverage on, it's proven that Donovan Wilson can't cover at all. He is a linebacker in a safety's body. That's it. There's nothing more to talk about. You're hurt in the secondary. You need help with cornerback too. I think it's time for Wanye, and I think it's time for Donovan Wilson to sit down. I think it's time for Marquise and Wanye to start. You're getting pushed around on the defensive line. Nothing new. But yeah, man, that's about it for the video. Again, you got beat by the Niners game. Again, it was a closer game. I think Mike McCarthy is going to keep his job for this week, but it's not going to be too long to where I feel like if you don't fire him, and he's not going to remain a Dallas Cowboy after this year. I don't know what we're going to do in terms of trying to get this thing on track and trying to make us a contender, because I just don't think that we'll win with this organization because we're not a serious organization. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.